It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our today's guest speaker, Dr. Kota Harinarayana. Dr. Kota did his mechanical engineering at IIT BHU, his ME in aeronautics from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and his doctorate degree from IIT Bombay. He holds he also holds a bachelor degree in law. He started his career in 1967 at HL. In 1982, he was a chief designer in HL Nasik division, and later on, in 1985, he was deputed to DRDO. He was a program director and chief designer of Light Combat Aircraft LCA, that is Tejas program, where he successfully directed the project leading to flight testing and clearance for limited series production. Thanks to his efforts, India succeeded in developing a high technology fighter aircraft of world class. He was the founder, chairman, and the aircraft designer. In his career of almost 5 decades, he has held responsible positions covering entire gamut of aircraft life cycle. His experience includes leadership in challenging technological projects for design improvement of fighters, integration of new weapons, certification, and aviation design of supersonic fighters, transport aircraft, and unmanned air vehicles. As program director and chief designer of India's first world-class light combat aircraft project, he successfully developed India's first of its kind aerospace ecosystem. He was honored with Padma Shri Award by Government of India for his contribution to Indian aeronautics. He was distinguished scientist of DRDO. He was the Vice Chancellor of Hyderabad University and the President of Aeronautical Society of India. He is a chairman of Research Council Center for Wind Energy Technology, Chennai. He was appointed chairman of the Board of Governors of IIT Varanasi for 3 years by Honorable President of India on 25th August 2020. He was awarded National Aeronautics Award, Sri Om Prakash Basin Award for Science and Technology for the year 2007 in the field of engineering, including energy and aerospace. The Lifetime Achievement Award in 2008 by Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. There is a huge list award awards to his credit. At present, he is busy in building drones and other unmanned aerial vehicles that can be used in mission critical activities. I know we are all eagerly waiting to hear from him. Instead of taking much time, may I request Dr. Kota to provide us your valuable insight about your project and your experiences. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Kota.
Thank you, Mrs. Sinalte.
Yeah,
Nirmala
thank
wants
you.
to say hello to you.
Yeah, hi, hello.
Just wants to say hello to you and Nalte.
Yeah. How are you, Bhabiji?
After a
Thank
long
you.
time.
Yeah, after a long time.
At
least we-
really keeping everybody active and all.
Yeah,
you
thank
are
you.
active and you are keeping others also active.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
Very good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Okay.
Thank
So,
Thank you.
Mrs. Nalte, thank you. And
Yeah,
Mr. Raja, thank
my
you
pleasure.
for this invitation. It's a pleasure to meet all of you, though virtually. I'm happy to meet quite a few friends here. So, very nice. I thought instead of talking about the fighter and all, let me talk on a subject that has a great relevance for India. because agriculture and medicine are so critical for us. And I thought the new technologies of drones, where there is a tremendous development occurred in the last, especially last 1 decade, application for civil, okay, especially in the area of agriculture and medical, it's still developing. So I thought it would be good to share why it is so important and what is the role these drones are playing in these two critical areas. This is today's my talk. After my talk, then we will have a discussion further, the implications, what are the limitations, how do we go about it, and all that. So I will now make a full screen. Okay. So my, as I said, it is my first part of the talk is drones for agriculture. And the second part is emergency medical support. These are the two parts. Let me now start with this particular slide, a overview of Indian agriculture. Indian agriculture, about 4 years back, 17% of our GDP, gross domestic product, was coming from agriculture. But today it is only 15%. The contribution of agriculture for our gross domestic has come down. 15%, 50% of India is workforce is working for agriculture. It's a large force. Average 22% of electricity that India generates is consumed by agriculture. And in peak, it goes to 29%. Very important thing is, very, very important is, 80% of our water goes for agriculture. 80% of the water. So this is the kind of a thing where we stand. Okay. Now let us see the next slide. This is an important slide. I want you to see that 10 years back to, this was done about a year back to 2017, what has happened? So 2007 to 17, let us see what has happened. The groundwater, now most of the agriculture is dependent on groundwater, most of them, okay? In Tamil Nadu, from 2007 to 17, 81% of the groundwater has come down. And in Uttar Pradesh, especially in the western Uttar Pradesh area, 92% of the water level has come down. In the areas of what you call Punjab, that area, the water table has come down to really serious levels. Andhra Pradesh, it has come down to by 67%. Okay. And Karnataka slightly better, 41% it has come down. But the scenario is very bad in Tamil Nadu. So this is the kind of a serious situation where we are. With so much of water, so much of electricity that we have spent, where do we stand? In terms of productivity, let us look at it. I just want you to see this particular slide. Free electricity, agricultural connection treated as a dump load, farmers install auto switch, electricity utility schedules irrigation. So nowadays a farmer puts an auto switch, moment there is electricity, the water is extracted, whether needed or not. Okay, so a lot of water gets, and electricity is free in the whole of the country. In absence, no financial incentive to conserve water. Water is just getting drained off. The access to capital, farm indebted. In spite of all this, the farmers are indebted. Technology is not entering in a big way. And what is the product with so much of water, so much pesticides, so much of fertilizers? What is the thing? Now let us, I just took this four what you call crops: soya beans, sugar, maize, and rice. I'm not comparing it with Israel and all. I'm comparing with our neighbor China. I'm comparing with our neighbor China. You can see that in case of rice, if you say crop yield per hectare and then water use efficiency is the next slide. Have a look at it. India's crop yield is somewhere around 3.5 or so tons per hectare, whereas China is around 7, double us. And what about water? We are using twice the water that China is using. We are using twice the water. That is for rice. Okay, look at even maize. We are using almost our crop yield is roughly about 3 tons per hectare. Okay, and China's is around 6 tons per hectare. We use about 1,000 liter, what you call efficient metric cubic meters per ton, and we use 2,000. They use about 1,000, half that one. In case of sugar, you can see that we are productivity is almost close to each other, but water uses, we are using double the quantity of water. In soybeans, okay, our productivity is somewhere there, but our water, we are using enormous amount of water, enormous amount of water. So our productivity is low, our water consumption is high, our electricity consumption is high. This is the story of agriculture of India. We have a lot of farmer agitation are all going, but look at the kind of scenario where we are. We are extremely in bad situation. We are, if this situation continues, maybe next 10 years, there may not be any water left, no groundwater at all. We are not getting enough water to drink. There won't be water for farming. And that would be the scenario. And our productivity is low. Another important thing is we have a lot of pesticides we use. Because of heavy pesticides, even though we are producing good quantity of crops, we are not able to export. We are not able to earn export money. So that is the scenario. Lot of electricity, lot of water, high utilization of pesticide, and as a result, no exports. We are in a very, very, very precarious situation. Situation is not good at all. So this is the situation of general agriculture. So there is a need for relook at how the agriculture is going on. There has to be an improvement in agriculture, and that is where the importance of precision agriculture. In the precision agriculture, you use reduced water, reduced fertilizer, reduced pesticides, and reduced electricity, and you get double the kind of a productivity, times, 3 times, 4 times, depending upon how much capability you have. So this is the scenario, and it looks to us that all our farmers, we have to see how to bring them to a level where they can improve their productivity, reduce their inputs, increase their outputs. Basically, what we are talking, reduce inputs, increase the outputs. That is the scenario what we are talking. Now, while India, there is a problem, the problem is the world over. It's not India alone, world over. Our population world over is rising. In 1980, the population was 4.4 billion. Today, it is above 7 billion. In 2050, it will become 9.6 billion. Our middle class is growing. Today, we are world middle class is growing from 2 billion to 4.9 billion by 2030. Animal protein consumption is increasing. Arable land acre per person in 1961 was 1 acre. Today is less than 1/3 of an acre per person. It will be in 2050. So land is it is a universal problem. The number of people who want food is increasing, but the number of land usable is coming down. So this is the scenario. Unless productivity is improved, there is no way we can meet the just food requirements of the whole world. So that is where the challenge is. So that is why from a normal agriculture, world over, people are shifting to precision agriculture. Whoever has shifted, they got the benefits. Even a big country like us, China, they are shifted to precision agriculture. The productivity has doubled. But countries like what you call Israel and all, they have done long back, and they're seeing the benefits of that. So let's see what it means. Now there are, in precision agriculture, there are 3 elements. One is you, what you call, you sense the health of the crop, you sense the health of the soil, you sense how much is the water content is there in the soil, whether you need more water, whether any nutrients are required. Okay, this you have to do. Third is you also check whether there is any disease set in. If so, what is the pesticide or insecticide that is required? So you determine in advance on the field, what is the soil condition? In soil condition means nutrient and water, and what is the crop condition? Then what action should be taken in time to so that the nutrients are supplied, water is supplied, and if there is a disease, earliest stage, you stop the disease. If you allow the disease to continue, then the whole crop will disappear. Whole crop will disappear. Now, with the new technology, you have got mobile phones. Very, what you call, smartphones are available. In fact, now some of the farmers are using smartphones. And smartphones, they have sensors. There are sensors in the field itself. You have a moisture sensor to know about the water. You have a temperature sensor to know about the soil and all. You also have a rain sensor, which will tell you when the rain is going to come in future. And you have a solar water pump, so you don't depend upon what you call electricity from government. Solar water pump will pump when you need what you need. That is the kind of sum. And the farmer with some training, he will be able to see in his field what is the kind of health of his soil, how much is the water condition, is there a disease in his field, depending on, and how much is the nutrient. If suppose there is a deficiency in nutrient, he has to supply the nutrients. If there is a deficiency of water, only then he will supply water. If there is an onset of a disease, then he will put a pesticide and insecticide. This is one technology which is now coming up, and this needs some collaboration between agricultural science, farming. Okay, this is what we need to do that. Plus, weatherman, the man who now what happened? There are micro weather stations which will tell you in an area of 100 acres when will the rainfall will come, so that the farmer will know when the rainfall come, and they're fairly accurate, so you will plan the things accordingly. This is one way. This is one way. Now let us see the a little older way which has been going on. This is the advantage, I'll say. User can monitor the large fields, forests, gardens. Solar energy is plenty. He can utilize that. He optimizes the power through water resource management. And this proves an efficient and economic way of irrigation. And this will automate the agricultural sector. This is one good technology. And it has been used extensively elsewhere. Slowly it has to come into India also. And some farmers are already using that. Now let us see the next. This is the satellite images. Satellite is able to take an image of all our fields. It has been doing for a very long time. They have passive sensors and there are active sensors. And these sensors are able to see whether what type of crop is planted, what is the extent of crop, and they have some, they are able to determine this one. Okay, and this is going on for quite some time. It has a lot of plus points and a lot of minus points. Let me talk to you what are the plus and minus points. Advantages: land use, land cover mapping. What land is used for what crop? Okay, you can map fairly well, fairly well. Crop health monitoring. Crop, you can't do the crop of a half acre, quarter acre, but you can do health of say 1,000 acres. You can be able to do. If I put some what you call wheat, roughly you can see either any danger to the wheat crop. That crop inventory, how much of each crop is have been planted, that you can get a fairly good idea. And soil resource inventory, what type of soil and all, and what supply water supply management also you can do. In seasonal agricultural operation you can do. But what is the problem here? The problem is once in 15 days or so, the data will come to the farmer, or first to the agriculture scientist, from there to the farmer. In 15 days, lot of damage can occur to the crop. So while it can do for rough estimate of what crop is used, what is water situation and all, but precision, precisely to know in my field, my 1 acre field, my 2 acre field, what is the health, how much is the water, how much is the nutrient, we are not able to do that. Because it's not real or near real time. There is a gap of 15 days. In agricultural operation, some of you must have been familiar with agriculture, 15 days a crop can get damaged. It can, a good crop may become a useless crop. So that is too long a period. That's why while satellite imagery is good, but not good enough for precision agriculture, especially where small farms. See, in a country like USA and all, A farmer has 1,000 acres, minimum some 2,000 acres, 5,000 acres and all. So it is okay for him. But our average farmer has 2 acres. So how a farmer will get benefited? This is the problem we have in a small farmer, small farm holdings in a country like India. That is the reason why satellite imagery, in spite of the fact our satellite technology has grown, is not good enough for farming for small farms. That is the problem. Now comes the drones. Drones can take off and land vertically. They don't do runaways or anything like that. And they can fly at a very low altitude. A drone can fly at 3 meters altitude, 10 feet altitude. It can see, it can, if it has an IR camera, it can see the health of the crop. It can check the health of the soil. It can check the health of from the leaf, it can see what is the water content. All that it can be done. Okay. And today there is the data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning. The technology has come to a level where in near real time, we are able to now find out what are the deficiencies in the crop or what are the diseases in the crop. You are able to do that. Second, you can do what you call a geofencing. You can, your 1.5, 2 acres of land, you can clearly mark, and the drone can fly in that area only. And it will be able to determine what part of your land has more water, what part of land has more what you call nutrient deficiency, what part is having a disease. So accurately you can do. All this technology has come only last few years, but it has developed quite well. So you are able to take care of your water requirements, your soil requirement, your nutrient requirement, and if there is a disease, it will be able to find. And drones have become cheaper. With what it will do, it will reduce your input cost, it will improve your productivity. As a result, even though you are a small farmer also can afford it. A small farmer also can afford it. A drone operator, he can be a service provider, and he can operate drones for about 10 farms, 20, 30 farmers. In a day, he can take care of a few farmers and he can give them the results. Based on the results, he can decide whether water has to be done, whether fertilizer has to be put, or if there is a disease, how to control the disease. If there is a such problem, all that can be done by the drone. So that is where the drone has become extremely important. But drone, along with what you call the data analytics, okay, I'm not going to talk about data, that is a big subject. And with the knowledge of agricultural technologies, we will be able to know exactly what problem is and how we can handle this. This is very, very important. And this is a boon for the small farmer. And 87% of India are small farmers. That is what is important. So I just want to show how it works. It captures high resolution images and view of data in real time. You can see the data, and data is processed in a computer, which nowadays we call it a cloud. You don't have to own any computer and all, you use that one. And it translates the data into useful information. And with that information, as I mentioned to you, soil quality, plot slide, plant health, everything can be provided. This is the benefit what you are getting now from the drone. So I'm looking forward to a scenario where agricultural drones specially developed for agriculture, will become a boon for the small farmers of India. 87% of India is small farmer. It is of course useful to the big farmer. The problem is always for the small farmer, and that is what it can do that. And that is where the benefit is coming. And whoever has used it, whether it is a cash crop or a food crop, or you are talking of fruits or even coconuts. I will show you a photo of how coconut disease also can be done. So this is the benefit you do. What the drones can do. In addition to finding the problems and all, drone can do also spraying. They can count the plant size, plot status, stand number, compromised plot, planter skips, plant height, crop height and density, vegetation in the leaf area, anomaly detection, treatment efficiency, infestation, water, weeds. There are a lot of weeds. It can find out which is weed and which is crop. Okay. And they work in all weather conditions, whether it is day, night, or what you call it is a rainy season or so. Human beings cannot work in all seasons, but they can do. And it's very easy to maintain, less cost and immediate action. A satellite will take 15 days, and a small farmer cannot ask for a satellite. But a small worker can always ask for a what you call a drone supplier. You say, please come and survey my 2-acre plot and give me the result. He will give. And the efficiency improves quite a bit. So this looks to me, the new drone technology optimized for agriculture has become a boon for small farmers in India, but in many other countries also are getting benefited by this. Predictive analysis by drones, weather and climate condition forecasting, they can do that. Disaster prediction they can do. Recently, when the locust came, the drones were used extensively to fight with the locusts. That is what we could do that. If a human being fighting with the locusts is not an easy thing. Crop analysis can do, rainfall analysis will do, disease cycling it can. Many such things it is able to do. Drones for crop spraying, having done the health, you have to give medicine. So unmanned spray does not need a runway. They can take off vertically, land vertically. They can take up and flying at very low altitude, just a few meters above, can be controlled in any site of distance range. You can control how much spray you will do. And in one part of your land, you can increase the spray. In another part, you can reduce the spray. All that can be done. And they are capable of all terrain, all crops, all plantation, and varying heights. Precise and accurate crop spraying ensure the best coverage and application of your fertilizer on your lands. So what the statistics have shown, you use only half to one-third of the fertilizer, one-tenth of the pesticide, one-fourth or one-fifth of the water, and your crop can be double. This is the benefit you get by using the drones. I'm just showing you, there's a company called General Aeronautics, I was associated. They have done the survey of the Kasargod area, the crop, this coconut crop, and they were able to determine precisely what trees are having a disease and what type of disease and what should be done. There is a very famous plantation research institute in Kasargod. They worked with them. And this company, which is a startup at University of Science, Bangalore, and they have been able to, at a time, they will carry up 15 kg of pesticides, and thereby they are able to cover 3 acres in one sortie. Okay, that is the kind of thing they have done. And the results, they say, are accuracies of the order of 92 to 93%, which is pretty good. Very, very good. That's what it is. So, to summarize, drones have arrived at agricultural farm as a great boon in terms of reducing the drudgery, doing scouting, monitoring, spraying, and applying nutrient crops. Nowadays, a farmer doesn't get even people, even if he wants to pay money. They're not available. And drones are again highly versatile, and they're able to perform tasks while airborne. And drones replace sizable human and reduce the cost of labor. In fact, drone cost is lower than the human cost. Drone conducts tasks with great ease and remarkable speeds. They cover large farm in a matter of minutes. One flight can cover 3-4 farmers. They offer digital map data that is unmatchable. They collect data with great accuracy and rapidly, and they destined to dominate agrarian scene. It's only a question of time, in my opinion, that drones will become part of our agricultural operations. So this is what we call the advantage. There are, let me now talk to, I have now changed the field. Okay, I want to change. We talked about agriculture, the drones, the benefit, precision agriculture, what it can do. Let me also talk to you about what is the medical intervention a drone can do. Okay, let me talk about this. Let me now talk to you about road accidents in India. This is a little old data, 5 years old data, 2015. In 2015, 500,000 injured on the roads. Highways accounted for more than half of the road injuries, highways. Okay, 54% of highway, they, I think, make it difficult for most of the victims to access transport, good care. And as a result, there are extraordinary 54% serious, they could not be retrieved. As a result, there was a death or serious injury, and they were not able to recover. So there is a sense of urgency in this field. And if we don't take care, there is increase in of human toil, of injury during coming decades. So this is a problem of our, what you call highway accidents that are occurring. Let me also show you, nowadays we have 108 ambulance, a very good facility. And most of the states in India we have. The problem is, our roads are still a problem, and there are hilly areas. Terrain is so bad. Even a good road with a bad terrain, it takes several minutes to hours for ambulance to reach the victim. I've been working for last few years with 108 team, which is the headquarters is in Hyderabad, but every state they have got that. There are all challenges. There are thousands of 108s, but how do you reach them to the place of accident? In a study that was done recently in Puducherry, I'm not talking abroad, Puducherry, Pondicherry there, it is reported that only 3% were able to reach trauma center within the golden hour. Okay, within the, they call it a golden hour. Within that, if you reach, a patient can survive. As per World Health Organization estimates, if initial trauma care and stabilizer of seriously injured is made available, 2 million lives could be saved in low-income countries. He's not talking about high income. 2 million lives can be saved. In addition to training the community, there is need to deliver first aid materials to stabilize the injured patients while waiting for ambulance turn. The biggest challenge is while 108 will take minutes to hours to reach, can you stabilize the patient? Let us say there is an accident. There is a heavy, what you call, there are blood will ooze out. And if the blood oozing is not stopped, okay, then there is no other problem. But because blood has oozed out so much by the time the 108 comes, by the time the patient, the accident victim is taken to the hospital, is not in a position to be recovered at all. So this, before even a 108 comes, if a drone can reach faster, it does reach faster, then you are able to save the lives and do it in a timely and cost-effective way. That is the one big, great benefit of a drone. Let me talk to you a little more in that. This is the typical road accident scenario. It is the what you call figure that the World Health Organization talks. Here is the scenario. Okay, there is a accident that has occurred. Okay, when the accident occurs, immediately, let us say there is a good bystander, somebody there nowadays. Mobile phones are there, they have given a call to 108. Okay, somebody picks up immediately. They have a protocol that in first 10 seconds they have to pick it up, and they have dispatched the 108. Okay, that is what happened. 108 goes there. This is the second thing. Okay, then the 108 picks up the what you call roadside accident victim, put him in the stretcher, take him to the ambulance, and take him to the hospital. Okay, and in the hospital reception, all that emergency, all that whole thing goes on. Okay, now what is happening? By the time ambulance comes, because especially in village areas and even in a city like Bangalore, traffic being what it, thanks to COVID, traffic is less, but traffic will be always high. As a result, it takes minutes to hours it takes. How do you tackle this kind of a scenario? This is what is the point. So here is the situation. Accident, black spot, state highway, trauma care facility, ambulance. And these are the four elements of this. In this ambulance network, can I now add what you call a drone? If I add a drone along with a 108, let us say a call comes from a site where there was an accident, and what you call the master control center, it dispatches the 108. It also dispatches the drone. Now, because of the road traffic and all other the ambulance will reach 3 to 4 times later, the drone will immediately reach. And it can give what a first aid kit with which they can stop the first bleeding. I'm first talking of the, if you stop the bleeding, 50% of the lives can be saved. Just simple stop the bleeding at all. We call the stop the bleed program. Nothing more is required. Okay, and the bystander only has to give a call, and if the drone can drop a first aid kit, he can have to tie it out. That's all what needs to be done. Recently, a experiment was done, and the results showed very good. Okay, so I just wanted you to see this kind of a thing. It was done, I think, in 2015, a study, same location. And then they have a light ambulance, they have a heavy ambulance, they have a drone. Okay. The light ambulance, the distance is 15.2 kilometers from start of the ambulance to the accident site. The drone flies like a bird So it takes lesser distance, 9.3 kilometers. A light ambulance takes 28 minutes, heavy ambulance takes 30 minutes, a drone takes 12 minutes. Okay, he is able to take 40% of the time he is able to reach. This scenario two, if you can see all scenarios, the amount of time you are able to save, you are going in about 40% to one third of the time you are able to reach. So that means you are able to reduce the bleeding, and you are able to what you call give a first aid, what you call ABC, they call it, active bleeding control, a small kit about 200 grams only that is there. You tie the in the area where it is, and you are stabilized the patient. Then one it comes, and he takes the patient and he is able to give the treatment. That is what a drone can do. Okay, it's a very, very important application. I thought this is what will be of interest to you. There is another application. There are many cases where even in a house anywhere there is a cardiac arrest occurs. It doesn't occur always in a hospital or any people. Suddenly it will occur. So one is the recognition of cardiac arrest and activation of emergency response system. What is emergency response system? You call 108 and you give what you call a CPR, early cardiopulmonary resuscitation, with emphasis on chest compressions. That will do. Then next what you have to do is rapid defibrillation. Okay. And basic advanced emergency medical service and advanced life support post cardiac care. That occurs later. Okay, once you put him in the ambulance and take him there. But immediately somebody has to call the 108 and give a CPR treatment. What you call heart, you have to give pressure on that one, and chest compression you have to do. And that is where a rapid defibrillation. This is an important. Suppose there is a heart is now in a unstable condition. Can I use a AED whereby I revive the heart, okay, and keep the patient in a condition whereby when 108 comes, he can be transported. So this cardiac arrest, what you call out of the hospital cardiac arrest. Here the critical thing is a few minutes. If you lose every minute, you have a 10% higher chances of a problem. That is what happens. So this is where if a drone can bring an AED, what you call a defibrillator, automatic, the AED, automatic, what you call a rapid external defibrillator can bring. It weighs about 2 kilograms or 3 kilograms. You bring that, supply it to any bystander with a little training, he can utilize it. The patient is now stabilized and take him to the hospital. This is what is the importance of a drone. It can do that. What are the cardiac actions we are talking? Scene safety, check responsiveness, shout help, get AED, check arterial pulse and breathing, no pulse, initiate CPR, AED arrives, identify shock, able rhythm, resume CPR. These are the kind of things which are done. Okay. This is the second area where you can use a drone. The drone carries that AED, brings it to the site. It just drops where the patient is. Third, today there are many cases in even in a city like Bangalore, Delhi, Chennai and all. People, there is one hospital, people are waiting for transplant, especially a heart transplant is a critical thing because it has very limited life. By the time you take you find a heart from a healthy heart, from a person who died, you take the heart, you put it in a, what you call a picnic box with a cold ice and all, take it to the hospital where it is required, lot of time is lost. And the quality of the heart itself deteriorates. And as a result, though many such opportunities are there, not many patients are able to live. So here again, a drone can pick up that one, straight away take to the hospital where it is required. It picks up from the hospital where it is available to the hospital where it is required, and then supplies is in time a healthy heart, whereby the one who received the heart can live longer. That is what the thing. This is what you call passive preservation box, also called picnic box. And this is what is done in India and many countries. But some of the countries like in USA and all, they use what you call an active box. This is called an active box. It's extremely expensive. It's called pulsatile machine perfusion box. It costs almost more than 1.5 crores or so. So getting this machine itself is tough and is very heavy. 17, 18 kilograms heavy. How do you carry this? Okay, that is the problem. Whereas a picnic box may carry about 5 to 6 or 7 to 8 kilograms. Okay, but the problem of picnic box is heart cannot be stabilized for too long. Where this can be stabilized for long, but expensive and very heavy. So here again, there is at Indian Institute of Science, they are developing a low cost, what you call life box, where the art can be preserved for a longer time. Okay, but still cannot be, if you have a drone which can pick up this live box, take it to the hospital, pick it up from the hospital where it is available and take it to the hospital where it is required, then there can be, life can be saved. So this is the what the box is. A lot of good work they have done. It costs only 1/10 of what it was costing on the other one. So that is the third area where you can use. The fourth area, all of you are aware, access, when there is a natural disaster or there is a remote area in a hilly area, access is disrupted during disasters. Remote areas have the problem of reach and access. Only mode of during disaster and problem is by air. But how much of or manned aircraft or helicopter, they are extremely expensive, not easily available. Drones and UAVs are natural choice for such situation. Drones can provide safe transport disease test sample, test areas with high contagion. A human being cannot reach where there is a high contagion. We are now talking about COVID and all. A drone can reach that place, pick up the samples, take it to the hospital, get it tested, find the results, and pick up the medicines and provide the medicine to the people who are suffering. So it can do, it can, with the telemedicine, you can do diagnosis, you can collect the sample with drones and supply the medicines in a remote area or in a natural disaster area. There is human beings, it will be tough to send them. This is where the benefit is coming. So this is another great application of what you call a drone for medical applications. We're talking about road accidents. We're talking about what you call heart medical, sudden heart outside the hospital. We talked about heart transplants. We are talking about natural disaster remote area. These are some of the key things I thought I will talk to you. So you can see the benefit of drone to improve the health situation, to reduce what you call fatalities, to reduce the chances, to increase the chances of living, and give a better life to the people, and give the right what you call support at the right time. Okay, this is where the benefit is coming, and I just summarized it here. It saves human lives. It delivers laboratory samples, delivery of prescription, other supplement, hard to reach people, transport of organs, potential to transfer defibrillator, as I said, AUB, AD, AD, and then potential deliver telemedicine medical support, including even tools such as portable ultrasound to remote areas. You can see the benefits are many, many, many. In a country like India, now drone has become something like a boon because it costs so little compared to a helicopter aircraft. Okay, and it is affordable, and within the, for agricultural people it is affordable, even for medical intervention it is affordable. It can supplement and complement 108, and it can do lot things which can be done, which we were not able to do to save the lives until now. So that is where the benefit is coming. There are a few companies who started now making these drones. The company General Aeronautics is one company which is located in Indian Institute of Science. They do drones which can do this mapping. They can do imaging, and this is a small one. It can have about an hour's endurance. It has electro-optic and IR cameras, and it can fly vertically, take off and land. It can do that. But some places you need with a higher capability. So if you need a capability for medical transport and all, you need a vertical takeoff and land, but with a higher payload capability. We have drones which can carry all up to payload of 2 kilograms. It can endurance of 2 hours. It can go even higher. You can have half a kilogram. Then you can also do something like 8 kilograms of payload and all. So different types are there. And all of them can do vertically take off and land. They can land in any difficult area, and they can do a great service to the farmer and to the people at large, and in the medical community and the medical patients. And I do believe that using it in the right way, they can totally transform the health sector and the agricultural sector, two critical sectors in any country, and more so in a country like India. So thank you very much. I thought I could give you some idea. So this is what I wanted to convey to you. We can have a detailed discussion now. I will just close now my sharing. Can I can, are you able to see me now? Can I, have I stopped my sharing?
No, the screen is still visible.
Still there, na? I have to
Yeah.
get rid of my,
Yeah.
your screen or your screen sharing. I should stop, na?
Yes.
So your screen sharing. Let me see how to stop share. Stop share. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you very much indeed. If I'm sure there would be some questions.
There are a few questions. I can see them.
About agriculture and medicine.
Medicine, medical.
Are there any legal restrictions on the use of drones by
Yeah,
companies?
but there were restrictions. But recently, the Director General of Civil Aviation came out with a regulation whereby line of sight, if you can, if somebody is operating a drone, you are able to see, they allow you to operate, but you have to register your drone.
Okay.
Now they came also with a what you call a draft regulation, even out of line. That means longer distance. But in agriculture, mostly in line of sight, you can see that. Okay,
Yes.
there are still some problems because for spraying they have not yet given a permission. But I do hope they will do that in because if you can't spray pesticides, you can't spray fertilizers and all, you don't get the benefit. Even if you know I have a disease, what do I do? Okay, that is the kind of thing. But slowly the scenario is changing, and there was a question I was asking, who will operate the drone? It's like there are what you call service providers are there now to supply vegetables to our house. There are people who are now what you call provide drone services. Okay, they have habitation drones and all. They will do the drones. They will run the drone to do the imaging. They will analyze the data, and they will now say these are the problems. Then you say I want this to be done. They will do the spraying. Okay, it's like a service provider. In milk supply there.
Yeah, are these available in rural areas? Hello. One person at a time. Hello.
Yes, yes, Subhan Rao.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I
Raja,
request? Yes, please come in. Yes, Madhav.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Madhav Mohan. It's been
everyone knows you.
Such a great privilege to listen to one of modern India's living legends. Really want to express my deepest admiration to Dr. Kota Harinarayana for everything he's done to make India a superpower. Really wonderful. So I have a couple of ideas.
Now I'm working for agriculture and medicine.
Yes, and I'm sure the results will show. So I have a couple of ideas and questions all mixed up.
Please go ahead.
You mentioned, this whole business of line of sight and what complications it creates. So perhaps somebody like you should help the government frame a national drone policy, because today the MOD and the Ministry of Civil Aviation are at 6s and 7s, and they really don't know what to make of this whole thing. So some clarity on a national drone policy is required. Firstly, that was one idea and thought I wanted to share. The second is directly related to your exposition on medical applications. I have a specific problem. Perhaps your input there will help solve that problem. In India, sadly, every year, about 45,000 people die due to snake bites in remote areas. And most of these deaths are preventable because they die because they're not able to, first of all, identify the snake, and second, get the snake venom in time. And this is a tailor-made application for drones, which can bring in immediate results. And I'm taking inspiration from Rwanda, where the government of Rwanda has tied up with a private company called Zipline to supply blood products in remote areas. They've cut down the lead time from 4 hours to 15 minutes and saved huge amount of time. So your
Absolutely.
thoughts?
And I'm very happy you raised this point about I think it is ideal situation because a drone and an average we have found from a location within, they want that a drone should be able to reach in 8 minutes. Okay. This is 1 0 policy and all that. And we have checked now, we have developed, there is at Institute of Science, it has been developed, tested, and evaluation has been done. What you call anti-venom drone, what you call medicine, it is hardly a few grams. It's not a big thing. For example,
Yes.
I talked about stopping the blood flow, that ABC, they call it active blood control. It is 200 grams only. Okay, this fellow is lower than that, what you are talking. So it only a question is to reach there within about 10 minutes. And they have demonstrated that repeatedly, and it has been shown it is possible to do. And the point here is there should be a central control. That is where the link with 108 becomes important. Okay, and that has been achieved. The software has been written in such a way those things can be integrated, and that is what is happening now. And I do believe that once the beyond line of sight, which is a draft policy now, which has not been fully cleared by government, when it becomes a policy, approved policy, these things can be done. And I agree with you, thousands and thousands people can be saved in doing this one. Okay. And about policy, there are a lot of intense discussions are going on now. And at Indian Institute of Science, they have set up at Chalakare, they have a campus of 1,500 acres. They have set up a test facility where all drones can be tested, validated, approved, so that the safety is ensured. And then the government can give a clearance for those drones to be utilized. Okay, that is there are hurdles, but I find we are moving forward. We are moving forward. I'm a born optimist. I do believe things will happen. Okay. Is it
Thank you.
okay, Madhav
Thank you.
Menon? Mohan?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So both are under control, but a lot of effort is required to make it a routine happening. Today it is an experiment. It should become a routine happening. I'm not seeing any technological problem. I'm also not seeing a lot of new startups have come and they're ready to do what you are talking. A big industry may not be able to do, but a startup fellow will go to a field, he will give support. He will run his what called drone and he will make things happen. Okay, that is what is happening.
So perhaps a template can be created for a regional or a city network for drones. So that will help in the whole,
Correct.
operationalization of this whole thing.
So we have a
Thank you.
discussion with 108 team because in every state they have got that. And
Right.
they are now doing an optimization study, how drones should be located. Okay. Sometimes they're also saying there are large number of petrol bunks are there. Where what you call charging stations are there, electricity charging. They can co-locate a drone station there. Okay. And the 108 master control will tell him, look, here is the map, here is the direction, you go and attack that one. Okay, that is what he will be able. 108 can go later, but because it takes time, because our roads are bad, things are there, you can't change them there overnight, but drone can reach there. Okay, it takes about 30 to 35% of the time that a road vehicle will take. So that is the benefit. And these drones are not that expensive like a helicopter, it will ask crores. This lakhs in lakhs. A farmer or a hospital cannot own, but a service provider can own. That is the benefit. Okay, that is it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
What about the cost and availability?
They are now available, and thanks to Atmanirbhar Bharat, most of the things have been done now in India. For example, at Institute of Science, that GA, when they started, they were importing about 80% items. Now they are importing 20% of the items. 80% have been done. Better batteries have been done. Better structure has been done. Better designs have been done. All health features have been built in. Still motors are being imported, but a lot of work is going on. I expect by end of this year, even that can be done. So it's a good thing. So that emphasis is going on there. Okay, I do believe a thing like this kind of a drone is ideal low cost solution, low cost high technology solution for our needs. That is the thing. Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
Subhanandarao here.
Subhanandarao.
Like eventually, like 108 service, the service can start for drones also by the government by integrating the
what is it?
software. By
What is
like
it?
108 drone service, like 108 another service, like drone service, where government can take up, and the software developed by 108, they can use that software.
It
And
is like,
but more
today
drones should be available. And
there. This drone also is like an extension of 108.
yeah, correct.
That's all. You also let
And
us say
Bombay
some.
80 also,
Uh-huh.
Bombay 80 also, there is one drones
There is one called Forge, Idea Forge is there, but they are concentrating on defense. They are concentrating on defense. The one at Institute of Science and a couple of others, they are concentrating on agriculture, but the medical drones are now coming up. Okay, lot of trials are going on. The 108, GVK group. Okay, they work with the governments in Karnataka, many states, 14, 15 states. This team is working with the GVK group, 108 group, and there is a small project going on jointly between the General Aeronautics and University of Pennsylvania. There is one children hospital, is a world famous children hospital. There is a doctor there who is very, very keen on this work. He is collaborating. And about a year back, the first trials have been done. The results are extremely good. I understand next month they are going to do the trials now to link with 108, try it on the highway of Hyderabad. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
correct.
I
This
hope-
argon transportation, this is very useful. Even other day, they have traveled that local metro, the whole line was cleared from the Uppal to Banjara Hill side.
How long you can do that?
Yeah, that is why it is difficult to do. We cannot do.
Way.
So it will become very useful, for the argon
Very, very useful. The problem is sometimes what happens, what Indian Institute of Science is asking for is about 2 crores. But we are not able to provide them 2 crores to develop this one. That GA wants some 20 lakhs. We are not able to do that. Somehow we are not able to give that minimal support that is required to be done.
Government should come forward. Government should come forward and spend some money in.
Subhanandarao, you have spent your life in government. I also spent.
I know, but the things have changed. Things have
There is
changed.
a lot of money, but when they do the priority, they will say, no, this is the higher priority. Money has gone. See, we had.
But at least social responsibility, like people like Tata and others can come forward, like GVK, and start the service. It may happen.
I'm looking forward to such a thing happening. The poor startup fellow
I
is
think it
spending
will
his
happen,
money
sir.
to develop his drone. And the Institute of Science, what are little resources that they've done a prototype. But a prototype has to be made into a Paka vehicle, no? See, 2 crores is that active, what do you call, picnic box. Active picnic box is 2 crores. Picnic box is 5,000 rupees. I will make it in 20,000 rupees. But then you have to develop it, that is the point. My idea for giving this talk is some of you will take the lead and then push it forward. And Institute of Science is a well-known organization. A startup is located there. People are there. 108 is very well known there. I think time has come whereby we invest a little and see the benefit will be 100 to 1,000 times more.
We have quite a few questions.
I think big companies, as the SCR, social corporate responsibility, they should be doing it.
It is
Right. Shall we go on to some of the other questions? We have quite a few. I'll start with the last question. In a city like Bangalore, what about high-rise buildings coming in the way of a drone flight?
No,
Is
it has a what you call avoidance system. What you call obstacle avoidance system. We can avoid all the obstacles and still fly. This is one of the technologies. See, all this need to be proven. That's how you need funding to prove. Okay,
yes.
Because Director General Civil Aviation will not allow you to fly unless the technologies are proven. And there is a what you call a test station Institute of Science has established at Chellakere where this proving can be done. Okay, technology has been developed, but you have to integrate it, test it, validate it, and demonstrate to the civil aviation authorities that it is a reliable thing. But this is something which is doable, has been done, and we can prove that one. It is no longer an obstacle. The main problem is to make it affordable. That is the point.
Yes. Another question, are there good safety controls and regulations for operating medical drones in metro areas to prevent
This is a very important
interference
question.
with civil and
Relevant.
military aviation?
Yeah, it is. That is where the safety of not only the drone, safety of the people who are in the metro, if suppose the drone fails and falls on somebody's head, that fellow will die. Okay, that is where the safety regulations become, and integrity of the drone also becomes important, and that is where the thing. But the job, this is the kind of a thing. See, 100 years back, people are afraid of traveling by air because they thought any day it will fall down. But now more people die walking on the road than going in air. So that is the level of safety has been established. I'm sure we will bring the safety requirements to that level. And while there is a what you call probability, but the probability is so low, you don't have to worry. But that is where regulation to ensure that safety is built into the drone.
Yes.
And when you put so many safety factors, the drone becomes a little heavier and expensive. Is where it becomes.
Yes.
Okay. New
Then another-
technologies.
Yeah. Another one, even if the kit arrives early, who does the first aid?
Testing is now, Institute of Science has set up a drone testing facility. Okay. It is available to all the startups and everybody to try that. Earlier, the only place where such facility was available was either in DRDO or at Air Force fellows. But those facilities are not available to the young startups and all. That is the reason why an independent test facility is required, which is accessible to everybody. That is where
sorry, sir. The question was, you said in an accident case, the drone would arrive in, say, 9 minutes or 10 minutes, and the first aid kit would be available. Now, who administers the first aid there? Does the kit carry instructions? What is it? Because a layman may not know how to apply the first aid, right? That's what I wanted to know.
See, what is happening now, there is one experiment were conducted in Hyderabad highways, what they call ABC kit, active bleed control kit. Okay. And what they have done as an exercise to sensitize the people, petrol bunks, auto driver, taxi drivers, they train them in hundreds and thousands. Over a period of time, what will happen? Even a school child or anybody, they will get to know, because the process is simple. They make it very, very simple, whereby and also the drone, what it does now, it has a small, something like a TV screen. It gives instructions what to be done. When it lands, not only it brings a kit, it also gives an instruction, 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to do more than 3. So it gives that instruction. One is awareness improve. Second is the instructions are given, whereby even a bystander, he will be able to follow the instruction and do the job. That is the
fantastic. That's lovely.
Another question. He says, excellent lecture. Drones have excellent usages to humanity, though they have negative implications if they're owned by terrorists.
Drones have also been used to bomb in Saudi Arabia, to bomb the, what you call the fuel installations and all. And that is where the regulation people are worried.
Here's another question about
medical, agriculture, all good thing. Some terrorists can use the drone to bomb you. How to prevent that? So there are now technologies called anti-drone technologies that also has to be done. That's why they want every drone to be registered. Okay, it will have something like an active chip whereby it can announce itself telling, I am a genuine drone. Okay, if that fellow is unable to announce, he will be shot down. That is where the problem is coming. That is the challenge, actually.
Approximate cost of drones for medical use.
Things like how a drone where you want to do imaging and all, it can vary anywhere about 4 lakhs to 10 lakhs. And agricultural drone can cost about 20 lakhs or so. Okay, but it is not to be owned by one fellow. It's a service provider. He keeps offering drones and he supplies them.
Yes.
And there has been cost economics have been done for, say, what is the cost of using a drone for a 1 acre of land and all, and what will be the cost. And they found cost is comparable. You don't have to spend more money. Okay. And that is how it becomes attractive for a service provider, startup service provider to make it viable. Okay. And a lot of now young people are getting trained to fly a drone. That is also important. They should know how to fly a drone. So then now there are a lot of schools that come up. They teach how to fly a drone. So this is like an ecosystem to be created. Okay, that's what it is.
Would there be any privacy issues when drones with cameras are sent, for example, to a neighbor's house, neighbor's property?
Yeah, it can fly above your property. It can do what things you are doing, but you have to see what is the checks and balances, and what is the plus and minus side. Every plus has minus. Okay, everything that flies may have an accident, but that doesn't mean you stop flying. You know, that is the kind of thing what we have to do. Okay,
we have time for 2 more questions.
Yeah, I think
whoever wants to ask can unmute himself or herself.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. My name is Vinay Paul.
Come in, Vinay.
It's a great privilege listening to your fascinating session on potential uses of drones for precision agriculture, as well as for aid and assistance to medical accidents. I had another special reason to listen to your session because I come from the same alma mater, IIT Bombay.
We are brothers.
I passed out in 1970 mechanical engineering.
Okay. Good.
But I had one question. You know, this agricultural use for precision agriculture seems to be a huge need in India for the small and marginal farmers.
Yeah.
So there are 2 questions. One is, what would be the cost to provide this service to a farmer who has a 2-acre farm? What would be the cost of providing this, let's say, for a 1-hour session?
Yeah. Let me put to you, I'm not able to recollect the numbers, but I have seen the cost benefit analysis done by the service providers, farmers, and even government agencies. What they say is, you are able to reduce the use of fertilizer, reduce the use of pesticides, forget about the water, electricity which is coming free, but even these two, and reduce the human cost. Because number of people who have to work, so many people, if you compare them, they say the cost of engaging the drone for this operation is comparable, sometimes even lower.
It will pay back, you are saying.
That is what has come. That is the reason why more and more startups are coming forward with the drones to do this kind of service, and they're tying up. I find the government of Andhra Pradesh as a drone corporation. And because the government DGC has not yet fully allowed, these startups are working with the drone corporation. They provide the services under the umbrella of there, and they have demonstrated very conclusively both rice crops and cash crops. Okay, like tobacco is a cash crop, coconut is a cash crop. Okay, and with CPCRI at Kasargod, they have done an extensive study. In fact, IIIT Bangalore was involved in that study because they have done a lot of work on data analytics, and they have demonstrated numbers. What I provided is what I got. About 92 to 93% accurately they are able to determine the type of disease and the age of the disease and what treatment should be given. See, this is an area where 3 groups are: the farmer, the agriculturist, data analyst, and the drone fellow. So that is where it will give benefits. That is what happens. Okay.
So there's a related question I have is if this would this lead to large-scale unemployment in the rural area, and what would be the solutions for that?
I have been talking to a lot of farmers. There is no labor available to be unemployed.
Okay.
They all have shifted to cities and towns.
already
And
migrated.
nobody wants to do spraying. And let us be very clear, it's not unemployment. A fellow who is spraying is also damaging his own health.
Risking.
He is damaging his own health. You should see that he doesn't engage in spraying the pesticides rather than doing some other work. This is a danger. They are suffering. So you have to protect the health of the people who are doing the spraying. Sometimes because the labor is not available, the farmer himself does the spraying and he is suffering. So even from health point of view, efficiency point of view, I must come for us to change the thing. Okay. And when the productivity improves and the output improves, it takes care of the his livelihood well. Okay. That is the point. And our
Thank
understanding
you very much,
is
thank you very much.
50% are in villages. Next 10 years, it will become 60%. Another 10 years, it will become only 25 to fellows percent will be there in village, 75% in cities. That is the situation.
That's right, because actually the agriculture currently is not able to support the 55% population that is
absolutely
living in the rural area. That's a fact.
I feel the government's thinking that we have to improve agricultural economy is so correct. Unfortunately, the farmers sitting in Punjab and Haryana, because they're selfish reasons or political reasons or whatever it is, they are opposing, but they are working against their own children. They are working against their own children because there is no water to pump. What will you do? Yes. Tamil Nadu, 81% water is gone. Andhra, 61% water is gone. Karnataka, slightly better. That is the scenario where we are 40% gone. But where will you get water to even electricity is free? So you have to think how to get water to one.
I agree with you, sir. Your figures were so alarming when you put it up that, it's a really serious issue which is not being given the importance that it deserves.
I mean, it's colossal problem. Colossal problem.
Last question.
Yeah, okay.
And it's been an astonishingly instructive lecture for us. And yes, alarming is the word when you talked about agriculture and the very low efficiency of water resources management in the country and the alarming depletion of water resources almost all over the country. And compared to other countries, that you compared it to China, the input-output ratio was so unfavorable in our case. So here is a hope, and here is a hope of a new agricultural revolution through drones, drone technology, artificial intelligence, and the modern techniques, data analytics, and so on. And we hope that we can look forward to that revolution, bringing about a tremendous improvement in agricultural productivity over the next few years through what you termed as precision agriculture. And similarly, in medicine also, where you talked about the situations in which, because of time management or time speeding up, we would be able to save hundreds of thousands of lives. It's been a very instructive lecture to all of us, and on behalf of everyone here, your colleagues, the special invitees of Athashrians, and the others who have come, our neighbors and our well-wishers, on behalf of all of us, may I once again thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you
for coming.
Pleasure talking to all. Yes. Such enlightened audience, and you are all knowledge incorporated. All of you are so knowledgeable, so informed.
No, it's been a great
pleasure. I was wondering, what can I talk to such a community who are so knowledgeable?
No, when I first talked to you, I was tempted to suggest light combat aircraft, but I am glad you talked about this subject because we knew nothing about it. And
because aircraft, everybody is talking. I thought, let's not talk about that again.
We learned a lot. I started taking down notes, and then I realized I was recording it. So I stopped
okay.
so that I could listen.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Nalte.
Thank
So,
you.
on that note, I am ending this meeting.
Thank you.
And do join us again
Yeah,
at
when
the next
situation
conversations.
improves,
Yes,
maybe we can meet physically once.
we must.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Please do visit
Thank you,
to
madam.
our
We would like to.
Athashri.
We would be
Yeah.
delighted to have you here for
Okay,
lunch
sir.
with us.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.